Bengals fans, this one hurts. After one of the most crushing losses we've seen in years, emotions are boiling over inside the locker room, and Jamar Chase isn't holding back anymore. Following the game, Chase took direct aim at head coach Zac Taylor, the front office, and even threw shade toward the defense. His words have lit a fire across the entire fanbase, and it's clear this team is facing a breaking point. Before we dive into what Chase said and what it means for the future of this Bengals squad, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that like button and turn on the bell icon, because this channel brings you daily Bengals news, rumors, and breakdowns that you won't find anywhere else. Now, let's get into the firestorm inside Cincinnati. Chase didn't hold back when asked if he feels responsible for helping the defense find its leadership. His response? "That's not my job. I play offense, not defense." Those 8 words say everything about where the locker room stands right now: frustration, division, and exhaustion from constant underachievement. And honestly, can you blame him? Chase has been one of the only consistent bright spots all season long, putting up elite numbers despite a shaky offensive rhythm and questionable play calling. But here's where it gets even more intense. Zac Taylor himself responded after the game, and his comments only added fuel to the fire. Fans are furious, and the locker room tension is reaching a dangerous level. We're breaking down exactly what this means for the Bengals moving forward, and how it could define the rest of their season. Now let's break this down, because Jamar Chase didn't just speak out, he sent a message. After the game, Chase said flat out, "This game should have been over. They just kept scoring." That wasn't just frustration, that was a shot at the Bengals' preparation, game management, and overall leadership. When your star receiver says something like that, you know the frustration has reached its peak. The Bengals were up by 2 touchdowns. The offense had done its job. That game was supposed to be wrapped up. But the defense completely collapsed, again. Missed tackles, blown coverages, zero containment on the edges. It's become a pattern that's beyond concerning. It's historically bad football for a unit that was once the team's backbone. Breece Hall ran wild against them. The Jets looked like they could do whatever they wanted on the ground. And Trey Hendrickson, clearly not 100%, couldn't generate pressure or stop the run. You could see it on every snap. Then you add in sloppy plays from Logan Wilson and the lack of communication across the secondary. It's a disaster that keeps repeating itself. Fans are tired of it. The locker room is tired of it. And now even players like Logan Wilson are reportedly frustrated enough to consider their futures elsewhere. The message from the team's leaders is clear: something needs to change. And when Chase was asked what that change should be, his answer cut straight through the noise. "I don't know." Asked Zac. That's not a casual comment. That's accountability, thrown right back toward the head coach. The Bengals have reached a moment of truth, and the pressure on Zac Taylor has never been heavier. You can't blame Jamar Chase for being furious. Week after week, he and T. Higgins have had to carry the weight of this offense, and they've done it while the other side of the ball keeps collapsing. But here's the real issue: this defense wasn't built to win, and everyone saw it coming months ago. Duke Tobin and the front office didn't fix what was broken in the offseason. The defensive depth wasn't upgraded, key holes were ignored, and now the entire unit looks completely overmatched. Bengals fans warned about this. They begged for help in the secondary, for more pass rushers, for linebackers who could actually tackle in open space. None of it happened, and now the results are showing in the worst way possible. And what makes it sting even more? The Bengals just got embarrassed by a 0-7 Jets team missing stars like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Justin Fields, who barely threw for 50 yards the week before, came into Cincinnati and looked like a superstar. The Bengals defense made him look unstoppable, with zero adjustments, no pressure, and soft zone coverage that left fans shaking their heads. It was like watching a team waiting for mistakes instead of forcing them. No fire, no urgency, and no identity. The Jets ran wild, converted 4th downs with ease, and even pulled off a 2-point conversion that had their head coach celebrating like he'd won the Super Bowl. So when Jamar Chase speaks up, it's not ego, it's desperation. He's tired of seeing this team waste talent, waste leads, and waste opportunities. And while some may think he's calling out the defense, it's clear the real frustration is directed higher, toward the coaching staff and how this team keeps finding new ways to beat itself. Even Joe Flacco handled the situation differently. When asked about the team's collapse, Flacco didn't point fingers. He said what every veteran quarterback is supposed to say. It's a team game. But deep down, everyone knows this wasn't about the offense. The Bengals' offense did its job. It's the defense, once again, that continues to let them down. Then came Zac Taylor's post-game comments, and they didn't help. When asked who he looks to as a defensive leader, Taylor said he's waiting for someone to step up. Waiting, that word says it all. You can't wait for leadership, you build it. You create it through accountability, through effort, through demanding more from your best players. And right now, this defense doesn't have that voice. Trey Hendrickson can't fill that role because he's been banged up all year. Logan Wilson? He's frustrated, possibly on his way out after requesting a trade. Cam Taylor-Britt just had one of his worst performances of the season. The young guys like Myles Murphy and DJ Turner are still figuring it out. This unit is lost, not just schematically, but emotionally. The Bengals are missing that presence, that DJ Reader, that Mike Hilton type of vocal leader who brings energy and edge. And without that, the defense feels hollow. Whether you blame the scheme, the coordinator, or Zac Taylor himself, one thing is obvious: the stars are frustrated, and the locker room feels fractured. It's especially painful because, for once, the offense actually looked alive. Joe Flacco was slinging it, spreading the ball to Chase and Higgins, making plays that should have sealed the win. Yet, despite facing a Jets team missing Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and multiple starters, the Bengals still couldn't close it out. That's not just a loss, that's an indictment of coaching and preparation. And when Zac Taylor said post-game that the Bengals never really had a chance to break that game open, it left fans stunned. Because they did have that chance, they just let it slip away. Again. Zac Taylor's post-game words left fans speechless. He claimed the Bengals never really had a chance to break that game open. But anyone who actually watched knows they did. Cincinnati led by 2 touchdowns against the Jets team with one of the worst defenses and least creative offenses in football. The Jets shouldn't have even been in the same stadium, let alone walking out with a win. And now, the Bengals sit at 3-5, staring at a season slipping away. The Steelers' loss helped a little, but Baltimore just won without Lamar Jackson, which is a brutal blow for Cincinnati's playoff hopes. The window isn't shut yet, but it's closing fast, and every week, the climb gets steeper. Then there's the lingering question everyone's asking: when will Joe Burrow return? The initial plan pointed toward a mid to late December comeback, but with the Bengals fading from the playoff picture, it's hard to imagine the team risking their franchise quarterback's health for meaningless games. Some suggest letting him play just to regain rhythm, but that's a dangerous gamble for a player still recovering from a serious injury. And as if the defense wasn't already depleted, the hits keep coming. Linebacker Shaka Hayward is now out for several weeks with a fractured fibula, another painful blow to an already battered unit. This defense is teetering on the edge of setting historic records for the wrong reasons. Giving up over 500 yards to a struggling Jets team says it all. Even Joe Flacco, who's been one of the few bright spots lately, left the game briefly with a contusion before returning to finish out a lost afternoon. The crowd's reaction when he jogged back onto the field said everything: frustration, disbelief, and the painful realization that the Bengals just hit a new low. Right now, Cincinnati feels stuck in quicksand. The stars are angry, the coaching staff is under fire, and the defense is collapsing in real time. The Bengals aren't just searching for wins anymore, they're searching for answers.